Yo, what is going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what is the best card in MUT. And it dropped today. It was a Cordell Stewart quarterback card that is technically free. There's a solo that you can do to get this card. Now, I say technically because you will have to spend around 66,000 in training to get it. So, although it's technically a free card, the training to go all the way up to 98 overall is pretty expensive in that sense, but you can build this card up for no more than 150K. It's a lot cheaper than those golden ticket quarterbacks like Vic, Robert Griffin III, Josh Allen, and so forth. So let's take a look at why this quarterback is, in my opinion, the best card in MUT. And if you follow the tournament scene throughout the year, you see that a lot of people base their running games around their quarterbacks. And you can do that competitively because of the difference between All-Pro and All-Madden. On All-Pro, you fumble nonstop. Yet on All-Madden, it doesn't really fumble much. Matter of fact, it rarely fumbles at all. So what ended up happening with this release today is they finally released a quarterback that has really high carrying. So instantly when I saw it, I said, well, let's go ahead and test it out. I wanted to see if it was, possible that maybe the carrying threshold was simply higher on All Madden, lower on All Pro. Or excuse me, I actually had that reversed. On All Pro, your carrying threshold would be much higher. Very similar to route running, right? Like in route running, you need 90 on All Pro, only 85 on All Madden. So that we know there's definitely thresholds in the sense of different, attributes. So I realized that this Cordell Stewart had crazy high carrying. And as you see, we're going to go to the stats, and I'm just going to scroll past all this stuff that doesn't really matter and get to the only thing on this card that truly matters, and that's going to be its carrying. So if you see right off the bat, I've got 96 carrying on Cordell Stewart. Now, I do use Zone Run as a chemistry. As you can see right there, it does boost 2 carrying, so technically your carrying would be 94. Now, I don't have John Madden, coach. I don't have any other chems, like team chems or nothing like that on this card. So basically, this is just with Zone Run. And you see it's got 96 carrying. The other things that you might pay attention to are going to be his speed, acceleration, agility. All are very high. As you see, 96 speed, 98 excel, 94 agility. And then we'll just look at his elusiveness, which is 98, his spin move, which is 92, juke move 98. So right off the bat, you see he is going to be a dominant mobile quarterback in the sense that his running is going to be phenomenal. And technically, all of his stats allow him to get evasive, which I will actually have on my quarterback in this gameplay that I'm about to show you. I have since taken evasive off because you will still fumble if you start trying to spin and juke and all that fun stuff on All Pro. Now, where it gets really glitchy, though, is you will not fumble the ball on conservative hardly at all. And I purposely went into a game against this dude's team was insane. He had every golden ticket that you could imagine. And he set his tackling to aggressive and was just blowing me up. Every single time he hit me was blowing me up. And initially, I was fumbling. But once I switched it over to conservative, I didn't fumble the rest of the game. And then after that, I switched my offense to go to the Saints and run the tight offset to the Taysom Hill package offense, which is probably the most dominant offense in MUT now that there's a quarterback that can run it effectively. And I ran the ball, I believe, 20-something times for 200 yards and 0 fumbles. And it wasn't like I was, hiding the fact I was running. Like, I think I threw 3 passes in the first game, and I think I threw 2 passes in the second game. I was simply running the ball. First game I ran Baltimore, which you guys will see. Second game I ran the Taysom Hill package. I'm going to test this out again with the Panther Heavy, and I'm going to go ahead and run just, that blast and see how that goes. But overall, I can already tell you, if you use this quarterback Cordell Stewart card and you put your ball carrying on conservative, those offenses that are extremely dominant in regs and MUT, um, or in salary cap, I should say, are now going to be dominant in regular MUT as well because you no longer have to worry about fumbling the ball when you run it. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. All right, guys, so here's going to be the first gameplay that I will be showing, and I'm going to be showing you every single carry that I have with Cordell Stewart. And the first half of this game, I tried to run the ball on, not necessarily aggressive, but on normal ball carry. So, like, I wasn't on conservative. I was simply just coming out, running the ball, and wasn't really intentionally sliding or doing anything crazy. Um, there you saw I juked Night Train Lane. I then turned around and tried to juke another guy, and no fumble. So I'm instantly already seeing solid, difference in the ball carrying. Um, and really, even on normal carrying, I had probably two full drives to where I didn't fumble the ball at all. And I was, like I said, I'm running into hit sticks, right? Now, towards the end of this half, or maybe it's the third quarter even, I'd turn around and fumble the ball three straight times, like three straight runs, three straight fumbles. And the first two were my fault. Right away, I knew they were my fault. I was sitting there juking, spinning, basically doing everything you could possibly do to fumble, even with regular running backs. Now, you will see that throughout the course of this, if you run on aggressive, or not aggressive, but if you run on normal and you are utilizing these spins and jukes and all that stuff, you'll definitely fumble. I don't want to sit here and say that you can now run, evasive, fast break on your quarterback and just run every play and not expect a fumble. Because you will. You will honestly fumble the ball. You will no longer fumble every single time you get tackled, which is a huge thing. Because if you try to do the same thing with Vic, you are playing Russian roulette. Like, you may score a touchdown or you may fumble for six. Like, that's just how Vic is. And that's truly because he has 70 carrying in this game. So, as you see right here, I mean, that's an enforcer. I ran straight in. Like, I'm not sliding intentionally. Like, I'm not doing really anything to even contain my energy, right? That's one thing that I definitely did in the second game. And I started to do it towards the end of this game. As you'll see, I kind of go on a money drive to where I'm still running the ball pretty much every play, but I make sure that I'm doing everything I can not to fumble as opposed to just winging it like I do in this first half. So here you see, once again, boom, right into Night Train. And like as this game, progressed, he found different ways to slow down the run. Now, I don't know what I'm doing here. I believe I actually scramble with my quarterback and get tackled. Yeah, that's what I do. So this is something that I definitely don't recommend doing because you can definitely still fumble on that. There's all the carrying in the world is not going to stop you from, scrambling on a passing play, getting tackled and fumbling. Now, is it going to happen every time? No. I did it throughout the course of this game twice, and I didn't fumble. Um, and the next game I did it, I believe, once, and I didn't fumble there. But I don't want to sit there and say, hey, you're not going to fumble if you're just running into hit sticks on passing plays, right? Because I don't believe that that's actually accurate. I think you still will fumble. I think in these games, I just got kind of lucky on those couple occasions. But as you see, I've got 160 yards rushing, I believe, and or no, 130 yards rushing, and I'm just pounding the rock, right? I mean, these are just quarterback runs, nothing crazy. I mean, they're good quarterback runs, don't get me wrong. This is the Ravens QB power out of the gun wing formation that if you know how to run it, it really eliminates their ability to run some of the aggressive defenses and the aggressive run defenses because as you see, they get cut blocked like that on the outside to where as long as you can get kind of out of that initial cluster of players that could shed, um, it's going to be really difficult because the outside corners essentially get cut blocked. So here's where he makes an adjustment. And you see, I spin into my own player, stumble, and get tackled and fumble. So that one is 100% on me. I think even on conservative, if I ran into my player, stumbled, and did that, I would probably fumble. Now, here's where I'm saying uh, it pretty much went downhill for running on a normal because I fumbled the first one, which was my fault. Second one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm spinning, I'm juking, basically having a blast running the ball. But here, I get hit with the low hit stick animation, which technically doesn't even allow you to fumble the ball. There's 0% fumble chance. Yet I still fumbled the ball on that. So right here is where I switch it over and I go to conservative carrying. Because at this point, like I went from having, an 11-point lead to down 4 points. Like just like that. Um so three straight fumbles, will make you have to do something different. So I went to the conservative carry here, and as you can see, I'm running the ball just as effective as I was. I'm up to 253 yards rushing. Um, and now that I'm on conservative, I feel very confident that I'm not going to fumble the ball. But I still had to go through this process of testing it, right? So here you see, I'm just running the ball, doing my own thing. And at some point here, I actually throw a pass and take the lead. But there it's third and 14. I go ahead and I kick the field goal right there. Excuse me. I kick the field goal there. And this time I go with the read option, run smooth into a Palomalu hit stick, and it looks like I'm actually kind of going backwards running the ball on that last drive to here. There I go with the read option. He sheds, um, and then I scored. I threw a pass and scored on that drive, so I'm going for two. Going to utilize some motion on this, basically make sure that Palomalu can't hit me. It's not going to stop me from being hit. It's just going to allow me to get in there because Palomalu was causing havoc. There you see Night Train tries to come up and tackle me. I get in there. Now, at this point, I've sealed the game, but I've got 7 seconds. I've got a couple timeouts. I just want to see if I run into a hit stick, whether or not I'll fumble, right? I mean, these are regular seasons games, nothing crazy. So I run pretty much directly into Palomalu. Nothing happens. So now I'm going to flip the run, and I'm going to see what's going to happen if I run into Calvin Johnson or Mike Evans, I believe is who he has back there. But I'm going to end up running into Calvin with his enforcer, and you'll see right away. Oh no, that was Palomalu. You see once again, no fumble, no nothing. It's a pretty dominant tactic, guys. Hope you guys enjoy.